Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. JC here with a kind of introductory video for all of you to watch. Unfortunately, I cannot be there today, and I will not be there tomorrow, but astonishingly, I may come back on Wednesday. That's my plan for now, is to come back and at least teach this class on Wednesday and then slowly work my way back into a full day of school as the week goes on. So that's my plan. It's not a promise. Things could certainly change with me, but that's my plan. So with that said, I wanted to make this video for you to kind of lay out how the next couple of days are going to work and really to give you an overview of this class and what it's all about so that you can make the decision today whether or not it's truly the class you want to be in. Because again, these are elective classes. Okay, this is an elective class. It's not a required class. You don't need it to graduate. And with your electives, you should be picking classes that you are passionate about, that you're interested in, that you're having fun in. And I just want to make sure that this is that type of class for you. If it's not, by the time I get done, if you're like, man, I really don't want to take this class, as much as I don't want to see any students leave this class, I don't want it to be a year-long struggle for you to find enjoyment out of it. So you'll have that opportunity to switch out of it if you want to. And that's the main reason I'm making this video, is just to give you an overview to make sure it's something you really want to be in. And if it's not, when this video wraps up, you can certainly go to the guidance counselor, probably most likely Mrs. Wilson, and see if there's other options. I know that art, I know astronomy, and I think maybe zoology are a couple electives that are a wood shop, metal shop. They're all offered during this block, so they're things that you can enroll in. So again, I hope that all of you stick with this class, but I just want to give you an overview of what it's all going to be about. So first off, just the next couple of days. The next couple of days for you are going to be not a ton of fun. And the reason is because I don't have a lot planned. With me coming back on Wednesday, I just kind of want to get some introductory things out of the way over the next couple of days, so that's probably going to take you about, 30 to 40 minutes, maybe 50 minutes tops in each of the next couple of days. So you're probably going to have 20 or 30 minutes of downtime over the next 2 days, and I just want you to kind of find something to work on quietly. Don't distract others around you. I have books related to this class over on my shelf. You can look at magazines, get on the Chromebooks, just find something quiet to do when you've wrapped up everything that I've asked. So that's the next 2 days for you. And the other reason I do that is because since this is an elective, I usually have students drop it, and I usually have students. Last year I had 12 students join this class on the second day, and I actually planned quite a bit on the first day, so I had to spend the whole second day catching them up, and I don't want to do that. So that's another reason. I don't want people starting off too far behind if they join in late. I do encourage you, if you know anybody who is passionate about what I'm going to talk about, to certainly encourage them and make them aware it's an elective class, and as long as they're not taking a period class, a 40-minute class during this time period, or a math, science, history, or English required class, they can join this class. So again, if they're in an art or a metal shop or astronomy or whatever, they can switch into this class. I certainly want you to advocate for that so we can make the class even better. But how this class works, we will be learning about African American history, as you probably guessed. Okay, and why did I create a class related to that? Well, the reason is because this is kind of an old untold history. It's not told in your textbooks. I don't teach much about it in my U.S. history course. Mr. Hepfer doesn't as well, and the other Mr. Collum doesn't much either. There is going to be some review. You'll see, especially in the beginning, when we're learning about the Civil War era and abolitionist movement and Reconstruction. There will be a lot of review for you, but as we kind of move on throughout the course, there will be some new information, a lot of very new information. And it's very interesting information. I created this class because this is the subject, the specific history that I'm most passionate about. I love it. I love this topic because, number one, it's an untold history, and number two, it's an unjust history in a lot of ways. We're going to learn about a lot of horrible, horrible things that have happened to this group of people throughout history and really are continuing to happen to this group of people. And I'm just trying to bring more awareness to them and their cause, so that we can make a difference as a society. And that's what I really hope with this class. So not only will you be learning about the content area, we learn about pretty much from around the Civil War, just before the Civil War, all the way up to present day events. So we move fairly quickly, but I'm going to explain a little bit how it's much different than my U.S. history course. But not only do we learn about the content, I'm changing it up a little bit from last year, because last year I really just focused on the content. My idea was if I can just inform all of my students about this, they will have a better understanding of why things are working the way they are today, why there's Black Lives Matter, why there's protesting, why people are in uprising over these issues, why it seems like race is a big issue right now. That was my goal, just to inform them about the past so they can better understand the present. I'm going beyond that this year, and not only am I going to teach you the content, I'm hoping to teach it a little quicker this year, spend less time on just teaching you the history, but also bringing up current event topics. Where we're going to look into research, and you're going to be blogging, and you are going to really look at primary sources and things that are happening today. You're going to look at issues like mass incarceration, voter restrictions on African Americans. You're going to look into Black Lives Matter and what it's all about and why they're doing it. You're going to look at policing, towards African Americans. We're going to look at a lot of things that you're seeing in the news. And I'm hoping we can have some good discussions on that. I'm hoping to bring in some guest speakers through Skype, some people who served a role in their history, like John Lewis is one I'm hoping to speak to you guys. He's one that worked right alongside Martin Luther King Jr. in the Civil Rights Movement. I'm hoping to get some people involved in the Black Lives Matter to speak to you. So that's my hope. Okay, I don't make promises. But that's what I'm starting to work on now, is to make all that happen. Go on some trips, maybe local historical places related to African American history. And then kind of culminate all of this into something where you take action. Something where you are actually going to proactively bringing awareness to a past event or a current event that is going on. So this is going to be more than you just absorbing content the whole time. You are going to be very proactive. And as I said earlier, it's going to be much different than my ninth grade American history class in a couple ways. Number one, it's not going to be flipped. At least I don't plan right now to flip it. I didn't flip it last year. I don't plan to this year. With an 80-minute block, it does afford me the time to lecture a little bit. I don't plan to lecture a lot. I'm not a big fan of lecture. But we will do it. Maybe once or twice a week, a couple times a week. But with 80 minutes, it's a little bit more feasible. It doesn't take as much time away from us. So I will not be doing the flip videos anymore, at least for now, unless you guys think that it would work better for you. The other difference, the big difference about this class is going to be a lot of reading, writing, debating, discussion. We do a lot more of that than you getting information from me, memorizing it, and taking a test. I do give a couple tests throughout the year just to make sure you're understanding the content so that as we move through, it's all making sense to you. So I won't say you won't have tests, but I think there's a big emphasis on tests, after every chapter, after every unit, and you're tested a lot in my ninth grade class. It's not going to be that way in this class. Again, you're going to be reading a lot of articles, a lot of primary sources. There's going to be a lot of reading, and there's going to be a lot of writing. I'm going to ask you to write blogs. I'm going to ask you to write essays. A lot of it will be opinionated things, which is kind of nice. You'll have a little bit more freedom to interject your opinion, but it'll have to be backed up by what you're reading. So I will say that, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for you. Some people last year thought it was much easier, and some people didn't really like it at all. If you don't like to read and write, it might not be the best class for you. But again, I'll say that it's more about the topic that we're learning about than what you'll actually be doing in class. Because if you enjoy the topic that we're learning about, the reading and writing will be secondary. It will be easy. It will be interesting for you. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. But again, it's not going to be a class where you just memorize information and we just play games trying to, get you to remember that information. It's not going to be that way. It's going to be a little bit higher order thinking and discussing and stuff like that. So that's kind of how it's going to be set up. Again, much different than my 9th grade class. So that's kind of an overview of the class. Again, I hope that all of you stick with it, stay in the class. But I will tell you that if you're not interested at all, that I encourage you to find a class that you are interested in. You only have so many opportunities to take elective classes, and certainly if this isn't one that you feel passionate about, if you're really not that passionate about this subject area or making a difference, then I would suggest that maybe you find a different class that you are passionate and would have a little more fun in. So that's kind of my overview of the class. I hope that you guys will enjoy this year. We had a ton of fun. You can talk to students that took it last year. Most of them loved it. So, again, I hope you all stick with it. Today you're doing a lot of introductory things on Google Classroom. But if you have any questions or any concerns about the class, you can message me on Google Classroom. Leave a note for me. Email me, jordan.colum@ntiogasd.org. Let me know within the next couple of days if you have any concerns. Otherwise, have a good rest of the day, guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you on Wednesday, hopefully.